When I'm overwhelmed, I shut down and I have a difficult time communicating.
I agree. You do.
We are the Parkers, can't you see? Living our lives in harmony. Join the laughter, joy and fun. In our hearts, you'll find the
You want me to say that again?
What?
When I'm overwhelmed, I shut down and I have a difficult time communicating.
I agree. You do. Being overwhelmed is not the enemy. Poor communication is.
Welcome to the A&T Time podcast. I'm Angelica.
I'm Tavon. Welcome in.
Welcome back. So last week we talked about parenting and balance and the intricacies of that and how we don't really have things balanced and we don't have it all figured out.
And today we're going to talk about what it looks like when we're overwhelmed within our marriage and our relationship and parenthood and things of that nature.
Yeah, more specifically, communication.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I'll get started with this because I think it's fair to say that I get overwhelmed more frequently than you do, more often than you do. So when I get overwhelmed, I get, like I said earlier, I shut down and my communication just goes out the window. And it's really hard for me to communicate effectively, like what I need in that moment. It's hard for me to communicate even in like a respectful manner. I feel like I get like a little bit of an attitude when I'm overwhelmed. And it's something that I've recognized about myself for a long time, but I think until more recently that you have, had intentional conversations with me about it. I mean, I guess recently might not be the right term. So since you've had more intentional conversations with me about it, it's been something that I have been working on.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I will agree that you've been working on it and that you're getting better every day. And I could definitely see the efforts that you're putting in trying to do better with that.
Yeah, so I feel like typically in a situation, how I react is yeah, I feel like I kind of touched on that already. Like I react just like more with an attitude, and I feel like when I say I shut down, it's in the manner of like not being able to communicate, which then like obviously flows into the poor communication. And I don't think it's beneficial for anybody. Like I know it affects you and it affects like our children, and like Cairo and Juno are pretty young now, but like I know for a fact it affects Anaya So it is something I recognize, and I don't like that about myself. I don't like the way I feel and the way that I react to things. And so it's definitely something that I am consciously working on doing better at, because I don't want to move in that manner.
What overwhelm looks like for me is probably silence, like not communicating when I'm overwhelmed because there's too much going on. It probably looks like, I'm saying probably because in the moment it's kind of tough to decipher if I'm overwhelmed or not. But it looks like flight mode, not fight. I'm definitely a flight person, not fighting, because I've never really experienced that in my life to even fight for something. So I'm normally like, if there's a big blow up about something, after I done talked it, and overwhelmed looks like me talking through the situation very, very in depth for hours to try to piece it together or figure it out or explain it, which isn't really beneficial sometimes. But in short, it looks like flight. So if we're having a disagreement and I don't feel like it's going my way, then I'm pretty quick to just be like, well, this conversation's over. This, I'm not interested in talking about this anymore. Or like, is this even the right thing for us if we're feeling these sort of ways? So my reactions aren't great because I know that I'm trying to fly away instead of staying in it. And that's what I'm trying to work on, is staying in it with you instead of walking away from it, because I don't want to walk away. I want to stay in it with you. Things are never that bad to where we can't figure it out. But all I think about whenever I'm overwhelmed is, well, I could do bad all by myself, which I say that to you all the time. So I'm just trying to consciously be better at being in it with you when I'm overwhelmed instead of trying to have you deal with it by yourself. So that's what overwhelm looks like for me. And that's normally how I react.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. And it's definitely something we are working through together.
Yeah. And like stress plays a big part in being overwhelmed. I'm just sort of going down the list. Like stress plays a big part in being overwhelmed, which has us overwhelmed even more now that we have, it's not just like you and Anaya anymore. And it's now it's you, Anaya, and me. And then it was you, Anaya, me, and Cairo. And now we got four of us in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Plus
you,
Juno.
Anaya, Cairo, me, and Juno.
Yeah.
So the stress of being a parent is a lot in itself, even if we were perfect, two perfect people in whatever sense perfect would look like. Having kids is stressful. Being there for the kids is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
So stress adds a whole nother layer to being more frequently overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I mean, we're everyday people. Like, we're obviously working on a dream and something bigger for us and our family, but like, we work regular jobs that bring stress to our lives. And like we shared in our last episode, that the kids are home with us, the younger two. Our oldest is in school, but our younger two are home with us. And I think those dynamics alone are stressful. And I know for a fact there's a lot of people who openly say, like, I couldn't do that. Like, I could never work and have my kids home. Like, it's too much. And there are times that it's too much. And so just being able to regulate in those moments and not let the stress take over, it's definitely it's a new challenge. I've said before, like I've done a few of the different roles. Like I had Anaya in daycare when she was younger, and I worked an hour away from home. So like getting up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get us together, to get her to daycare, to get to work, to then come home, pick her up at 6, not get home until 6 o'clock, and then have those couple hours. And like that was difficult in its own means, like not spending that time with my child all day. But I really feel like this is probably the hardest thing to do, because there's a lot of times that I feel like I'm not my best self and I'm like letting my children down because they're seeing me like high stress because I'm like trying to juggle work and taking care of them at the same time. And then there's more moments though that like I'm so grateful to be able to work from home and have my children home with me. So I'm not missing that time with them and they're not in the care of somebody else.
I say it all the time, but I don't know how you do it when you're taking care of the kids and working at the same time. And I know that, like, technically I'm doing the same thing, but mine looks different than what yours does. So yours is a lot more invasive, like you work wise, but you also take a lot of the brunt of the work with the kids too. There's no like role play there, but if there was, it's like because you're the mom, like it's your natural instinct to want to be there. As soon as something happens, like you're like on it, and you already have it mapped out. Like you're always like one step ahead with the kids. Whereas me, I'm always like, oh, it is 11 o'clock. What should we do for lunch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is noon. Maybe we should get ready for nap time now. Whereas you're like, I mean, I watch you do it in real time. It'd be 10 o'clock. You're like, all right, this is what do you want for lunch? Start asking the questions early. 10:30 rolls around, and obviously it's not perfect every time, but the fact that you can even work at all and still do that is phenomenal. Because when the responsibility's on me with the kids, work's not getting done. Or maybe it is, but it's very, very, very minute. So like I can't, as good of a multitasker as I am, I can do anything with the computer, with the Xbox, with the gaming, with the shows, with the TV, anything media related. I could do multitude of things at one time. I cannot watch our babies and work at the same time. So kudos to you. And I don't know if I'll ever get better at that, but you keep working towards it.
Thank you. Everything you just said kind of factors into moments that I'm like feeling overwhelmed and stressed, and like me thinking that you should just know. Like you should know what needs to be done. Like you're here every day. You're in the day-to-day life with us. So I I definitely have my moments where I'm like, he should just know what comes next, or he should just know what to do. And I'm learning that that isn't necessarily the case with everything. And I'm learning to just like take a pause and be willing to communicate. Because when that feeling of like he should know already comes in, then it's like, why should I have to say anything? Like you should already know. And like, I mean, just being completely honest, like my hope is some of those things do start to like click for you, and you do start to get to a point where you like are able to like know and react, because you're just going to have more time under your belt being in the home with our kids. I don't know if that will happen or not, but I I do hope that does happen.
Yeah, I mean, if we've learned anything about me over these last 5-6 years, it would be that I need clear direction of what needs to happen. Because I mean, you can attest to this or not, but like we could say like I should just know, but we both know that like my brain doesn't work like that. And it seems it's even just saying it coming out of my mouth sounds like an excuse, but it just doesn't. So, and that goes with all aspects of like our relationship. Like I need you to, like when you're getting overwhelmed, like I told you, I need you to tell me, like talk to me about what's going on because I'm going to see it too late.
Yeah.
Which leads me into like you being overwhelmed and not communicating and shutting down leads me into being overwhelmed and i.e. shutting down and like not wanting to communicate with you because it's in my brain, it's already too late. Like by the time I caught up to you with all the things that you're going through, I could see it. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to dive deep into that right now.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like in those moments, I think because you are here the day to day, you see all of it, you see everything that I balance, that you should be able to just step in and know like that there's something you could do within the structure of the day that would make a difference. And like that's not to take away, like you obviously handle nap time and bedtime with Cairo, which is really helpful. And I saw how smoothly you got Juna down for her nap yesterday, so that might be your new duty too, your new role.
So I always wanted.
I literally was at the store and I saw my camera go off and I opened it and I was like, oh, he's putting Juno in the crib. All right, we'll see how this goes. Shopping around a little bit. I didn't hear the camera go off again. So I'm like, let me check the camera. Look, knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if that was me, she would be up there screaming bloody murder right now. And you just smooth. Lay her down. Sleep.
Yeah. I think it plays a part like that. You weren't in the house at all, so she couldn't smell your milk.
Yeah. That's true.
And Kyra was very similar. So I don't know if it's like a dad thing or what, but what I've noticed is that if it's you putting the kids down to sleep, bedtime, nighttime, it's nap time, it's not working well.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Sometimes you do have success. But a lot of the time it's not that at all. It's the exact opposite of a successful lay down for bedtime or nap time. But for me, I have a very high percentile of nap time, laying down, snuggles or not, laying down.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I know the milk for sure is a big piece of it. And then I know for me, like nap time or nap times are a little bit more challenging, especially during the workday, because like I like need to move on to the next thing. And children can feel that. So like I'm not like calm, cool, collected, chill. Usually when I'm putting them down, I'm like, all right, you need to go to sleep so I can put you down and go get some work done. And even though I might not always like be presenting that on the outside, like they can feel it. So,
and I'm always cool, collected. Yeah. For the most part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's been my role for a long time now. You know, putting the babies down for nap time, bedtime. So I don't mind stepping into that. How do you know when I'm overwhelmed? Sidebar. This was made for a left-handed person.
I said that last time about, remember? Look, same thing. Mine's in my left hand. Mm-hmm. Are all mugs made that way though? They have to be.
Maybe because so I can see it and not the people looking at me.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But not for the podcast.
Yeah, purpose. I said that last time with my mug. I was like, is this supposed to be for a left-handed person? Actually, it wasn't on here though. Yeah, it was because I had my wifey cup. And I was like, they can't see it if I hold it in my right hand.
No free advertising here.
Mm, I mean, I think you hit it on. You were on point with what you said. Like, I think it's one or two things. Either you just start like going off at the mouth, just talking without really a solution, or you just like shut down and you're like, all right, well, just like let me know like what you need.
Going off at the mouth does not mean that I'm cussing or yelling at anybody,
No.
by the way.
No, he's not disrespectful by any means. I just mean like he'll just talk and talk and talk for 20 minutes, saying a lot of the same things without like an end point really.
Yeah. Saying that this wall is blue and then explaining how it is blue in all the different ways that you could explain that it's blue. It's probably.
Yeah, that was a good description.
Yeah. And the way that I recognize when you're overwhelmed, which is always too late, you move differently than when like you're happy and bliss. Like, and you start picking up a lot more chores in the moment when you're overwhelmed, which seems counterintuitive. But whenever I see that you randomly just start doing XYZ, I'm like, oh man, this is going downhill. She done took the trash out. She done did the dishes. She done started scrubbing walls. Yeah, I'm like, oh man. Or the other one is like maybe the cabinet closed a little bit too hard when you just are washing dishes. You know, not that you're slamming it, but I could tell that you're overwhelmed by the way you close the cabinets. I can tell that you're overwhelmed by the steps that you're taking from the kitchen to the living room. I could tell that you're overwhelmed by the way that you're breathing. That's how much I pay attention to when you're overwhelmed. Just when you're overwhelmed, I'm just so afraid to step into that because we spend hours talking because I'm an effective communicator and you are too, and we're getting better. But all that means is that we spend a very long time trying to figure that out, and it always starts real rough. If you're overwhelmed and trying to explain your side, I don't receive that well most of the time, and then I get defensive about all the things I've done in our whole relationship to accommodate for that. So, and then only then after that is like we start coming up with like solutions and figuring it out. And the hard part is the first part.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that description of how my overwhelm shows up is accurate, and that's why I said like it's something that I really want to work on because I don't like that. And I think moving into the communication piece of it, it definitely makes sense because you're meeting me in my overwhelm with your own overwhelm. So that's why like there's so much talking before we are able to address the actual issue and then like come up with a solution. So like that's something that like we need to work on together. Just being able to focus on the right now, what's the problem? Like how can we fix this and how can we move forward?
Yeah. It's a lot easier said than done.
Agreed. Because in the moment there's a lot of emotions in play.
Right. Yeah. So in not in order, the way things normally play out is I'm walking around happy go lucky, just in my own world, doing whatever it is I'm doing. You're overwhelmed by whatever it is that you're overwhelmed by, whatever situation may be. And then I come to talk to you. It's normally me that comes to talk to you about whatever it is you're going with. Well, what's wrong? Your response could vary, but it's normally like nothing at first until you're ready. But like you said, it's me stepping into your overwhelmedness already. So this is like I'm overwhelmed only a little bit because I know you're overwhelmed, but you're already overwhelmed, so your responses aren't very like happy and inviting, and it's your truth. But what I've noticed is once you get off your chest what you wanted to get off, even though I don't like to hear it in the moment, that just fires me up. But you get it off your chest, and then like you sort of calm down a little bit. It's like it's almost like you had to get it off your chest, and now you feel better. Well, in order, now you got it off your chest, but now I'm fired up, which leads us to talking forever.
Right.
And so I think you just like the learning curve right there is I need to ask you what's wrong and let you say what's on your mind, and then take a break so I could deal with my own emotions and then come back.
Yeah. I think it's important in those moments to know that me communicating my overwhelm isn't like an attack on you. And sometimes it seems like that's how it's coming off. Like when I'm telling you about what's going on and everything that I'm dealing with and XYZ, like you take it personal. And like that's not what it is. Yes, I need your help, but like I'm not attacking you. And so I just think that if you could receive it in the way of knowing that I'm not coming at you, then things could unfold a little better.
Right.
But I think if the starting point is like I get it off my chest, so like you know what I'm going through, and then we take a break and come back to it, like I think that's a good starting point.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And what happens? So here's my story, because they said you should tell a little side story, like a reference of something that happened. So at a recent, when you were feeling overwhelmed and stressed and everything that was going on, I seen that you was going through whatever, and so I asked you what happened, like what's going on. Hey, love, what's going on? And your typical response like nothing. But clearly I know there's something wrong, so I let it breathe for a second, but I'm like, no, let me step into the fire. What's going on? And this isn't going to be verbatim, but the thing that stuck with me was you said, you'll never know what it's like to not be appreciated.
No, that's not what I said.
I said not verbatim. I said not verbatim. What'd you say then?
Considered.
You'll never know what it's like to not feel considered. That's what you said. Which then, and this could be maybe how I react or whatever, like immediately when you said that made me think of every single time that I've done anything to consider like you and your feelings and like what we go through, which isn't very healthy in the moment. It's not toxic either, but it's not helpful. It doesn't provide value in the moment. So
right.
I do take it as an attack, because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Because your delivery isn't like in the moment conversation. Your delivery is, it sounds like, which not what you said, like you never considered me a day in your life. So that's what I heard, even though you didn't say that.
Right.
So then I just want to tell you, well, I considered you when I did this, and I considered you when I do this. So how could you never feel considered? And those are just two recent things that I considered you about. So gotta work on hearing you and not taking it as an attack, and knowing that I've learned over time that you don't necessarily mean what you say in those overwhelming moments, but you do, in a manner of you are not saying that I never considered you ever.
Right.
What you really meant was you didn't consider me today.
Right.
In these moments. So that's my story. We worked through that.
Yeah. Can I so I want to share a recent instance. I'm like hesitant because I don't want to put you in like, I'm not trying to put you in like a bad light.
I mean, this is real talk. If this is your reality, I mean, it's real talk. That's the one good thing about the A&T Time podcast is that it's real talk. These are
right.
real
Little
conversations
yeah.
that most people probably go through in a relationship. Yeah, or not, but go ahead. If we don't like it, I'm gonna cut it up.
Okay.
You have to be talking crazy about me. And
Well,
what happened to her part?
it's not crazy. I know it's going to sound bad to probably a lot of people, but like this is our reality, and like we are working and growing through our life experiences. So it's real. So I think it was Friday, and like normal every day, Monday through Friday, I'm up between 6:30 and 7 to get Anaya out the door to school. Kyra's up at 7, Juna's up shortly after, so I spend the morning getting them together, breakfast, up until I have to log into work at 9 a.m. Fridays, I have a 9:30 meeting. And I had quite a few work things coming through. Kyra's still sick. Both of our girls were sick last week. Juna's better, thankfully, and she was better by Friday. Kyra's still sick, so dealing with her whininess and her mood with just not feeling 100%. And you slept until like 12 o'clock, which isn't typical. I think you might have had a migraine I think you had a migraine, which is something that happens somewhat frequently. Um, but you slept until 12 o'clock, which I've gotten to a point where like I'm learning that obviously when you have a migraine or something, like that's something out of your control. So if you need the sleep so that you can rest and then like be helpful later in the day, then it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But not but. So we're going through our day. I did Kyra's lunchtime at 11, then took her up for a nap time at 12. Also in that morning, multiple different things had happened with the girls. Like Juno almost fell out the bed. I don't even know. There was like a bunch of things that just like it was a rough morning. Then Juno grabs the basketball hoop and almost smashes her foot under the basketball hoop. And I was like, all right, like work is piling up. I gotta go get work done. She almost just hurt herself because clearly like it's hard for me to focus on work and like keep a good eye on her right now. So I looked over at you and I was like, love, can you get up? I have work to do. And like I can't do it all right now. And you looked at me and said, there's a whole office space downstairs. And that was the farthest thing from helpful that you could have like ever done. Because to me, it felt like you were like putting the blame back on me to be like, there's a whole office space downstairs. Like, why are you up here stressing yourself out? And so, like, in that moment, it would have been helpful if you would have said, okay, like, I'll get up, I'll take care of the baby, you go downstairs and get some work done. And like, I, I feel like, not, I feel like I know I did a good job, like, not reacting in that moment. Like, that made me so mad, to be honest. And I was just like, getting mad isn't going to help anything right now. So I didn't. And then I figured things out on my own, which again, like, then you came in to like respond with like, oh, you're going to do this XYZ. But like, I had been going all morning, like by myself, figuring things out, like trying to make things work with like my day, and then you responded in a manner of like, instead of being like, I'm going to help you, you like put it back on me. So like in those moments, we also talk about like me needing you, and like it's important for me to need you, and it's important for you to know that I need you. But like in a moment like that, it's like, okay, well, like I'll just figure it out myself. I know I said a lot right there.
You did. You did. We do have an office space downstairs that you would always go to, but I understand how that wasn't helpful in the moment. I think that we often, as a married couple, come into like those struggles where like my brain is very logical and solution based real quick. Like, so that's normally the first thing that comes out of my mind. So if when I see, well, I'll sleep, but like I'm still there. So like when you're struggling and you said what you had to say, my first instance is, okay, go downstairs. Like there's our solution right there. I don't need to say much more. But I know that that wasn't very helpful. Like that's not exactly what you wanted to hear in that moment.
Well, I think it's not about like what I wanted to hear. It's that you missed the point. Like, yeah, you're right. I can go downstairs and work, but I have the baby. I had Cairo all morning. I had both of the girls by myself. So like coming down here to work with both of them just isn't really ideal.
No, see, so we have a whole office space downstairs. So you leave the kids and go downstairs and work in the office space. So that even in that moment, like that's what I meant. Like there's no reason for you to take the kids downstairs into the office space. You go downstairs into the office space because there's a lot going on up here, and I got it. But that's not what happens.
Yeah, that's not what you said. That's kind of the point.
Right.
Like I said, your response was in a manner of like, you're making this harder on yourself. Like there's an office space downstairs. But realistically, like I needed you to get up to help with the kids so I even had the opportunity to go downstairs and work.
Right. That's the good part about our real talks. Like this is gonna be the real situations that we're having. Because I definitely did not mean for you to go downstairs and work and take the kids downstairs and work in the office space. If that's how you took it. I 100% meant you go downstairs and work in the office space because that's what it's there for. And leave the kids up here for me, with me. But that's not exactly what I said. So I think it's communication barriers. We try to communicate, it still comes through jumbled sometimes. But we're working on it.
Yeah, I agree.
What doesn't work when I'm overwhelmed is any tone or pitch above your normal conversation voice. That doesn't work for me ever, but definitely not when I'm overwhelmed. So it's not so much you screaming, but it's definitely not just the conversation tone. So when I'm already overwhelmed, respect is like number one on my priority list, no matter what. So any tone or pitch is disrespectful to me. And if I'm already overwhelmed, then I'm just even more overwhelmed because I'm like, you don't even, like, why would you ever talk to me like that? It's not that you're cussing at me, but it's just the tone of voice. Like we've had that conversation where it's not you yelling, it's just the tone of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what doesn't, try to do what doesn't work and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I think you kind of touched on what doesn't. And so, like you're saying, like my tone isn't helpful. So, like, what can I do when you're overwhelmed that is helpful?
The only thing that I think I need when I'm overwhelmed is for you to embrace me. Like, put your arms around me, around my neck, around my head, and hold me and kiss me and tell me that it's okay and we're okay and that we're going to be together forever, and or whatever the situation is going to be, and that you're going to have my back. And but really, the embrace is everything. Like, I need embraced. And it's coming from like a very big, strong man, which it doesn't really make it seem like that. Me sitting in this chair with you because you're taller than me right now for some reason. I don't know why that works. I'm way taller than her. Okay, way. That's all I need. That's all I've ever wanted. Just the embrace. Uh, you see how I get, like, I'll start pacing back and forth with my deep thoughts if it's not about you, or even if it is. Like, I need someone to stop me, to pause me, to let me know like it's okay. And even if I go back, revert back into that pace, and like at least you did, like, you might take a lot of embraces. So that's what I need. That's what would help me when I'm overwhelmed. My overwhelm isn't about like the household chores and the household, none of that. It's always like internally, and then like about you internally, like you're feeling out how you feel about whatever's going on. So I need that reassurance, that embrace, because I love you. Give the best hugs to me. I thoroughly enjoy getting my hugs from my wife. I thoroughly enjoy when you rub the back of my neck and just put your hands on me. Like, it brings me peace. And the most important thing to me is peace. The fact that you can bring me that means that you are the most important thing to me in my life. I need that.
Oh, so sweet.
Thank you. Not rehearsed.
That's good. Well, I feel like we got really real and really deep. We talked about some.
Well, you gotta say what works and doesn't work for you.
I already did that.
Oh, okay.
Feel like we got really real and really deep and talked about some important things that I'm sure a lot of our listeners are dealing with in their relationships and their marriages, or like have dealt with. And hopefully we're encouraging people to like have these conversations, because nothing gets fixed if you don't talk about it and if you don't address it. So I'm proud of us for continuing to communicate and continuing to work on ourselves and work on each other, work on our marriage.
I agree. We have to do a takeaway though. Like, so we have to encourage our people. Like,
that's what I was just doing.
Well,
you're so like.
What I was thinking was, we talk about like what we do, right? And
we can ask people like how they.
Or we could ask them what they do, but we also, like, what have we learned is that works for us that we could pass on to them, like through the information that we've already done.
That's what I was just doing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I was just doing. I said I hope we can encourage people to like sit down and have the hard conversations. That's what I was doing.
Okay.
We are curious though. Let us know in the comments what it looks like when you're overwhelmed, and like how you navigate that. Do you avoid it? Do you move past it? Do you scream and yell? Hopefully not. Do you hold it in until it like reaches a head and you explode? Let us know in the comments.
And also tell us what works best for you when you're overwhelmed from your partner or whoever. What's some methods that would work best for you? Do you, like me, I need a warm embrace from my partner or even my babies whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed with them. Like, I'll ask them for a hug. Like, I need that embrace. So, like, what are some things that you need? Because everybody's different. And then I encourage you to communicate that with your partner. Like, this is what I sat back and thought about. This is what I need when I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. And so next week, we are going to talk about how we recover, recoup, how we come back together after we have disagreements and like these hard moments of overwhelm or hard conversations or stressful moments.
Yep. So hopefully you can grab some key tips from that episode about how to deal with it. If you haven't already, grab some from how we deal with it here within our relationship. And again, we're not here to make us seem perfect.
I don't think that episode showed perfection at all.
Well, no. The goal is to get you guys into our real talk.
Yeah.
To show you guys that we are married and it's not perfect. Even though on the internet, I'm sure if people look at our internet, it probably look like, oh, they're so happy, they're so perfect. Well, my internet for sure, and then like our family page, like, oh, they do everything together, blah blah blah. But really, it's not all roses, you know.
Yeah.
But what's important is that we put communication in each other first, and that's what guides us to success.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, make sure you guys check out A&T Time Podcast next week, Monday, dropping at 5 a.m.
Do we want to make that a promise?
Don't know if it's going to drop at Monday, 5 a.m. because we have kids and lives and baby sicknesses, but we're going to try our best.
Yeah, we will see you guys next time. I'm Angelica.
And I'm Tavon.
Thank you for being here.
Hasta luego.
Love, it's okay if it's not perfectly
Okay.
to that script.
All right.
Like it's supposed to be real, remember?
Yeah, you're right. It was real. We don't have code phrases anyway. Code phrases, like when you're overwhelmed, how you could tell me that you're overwhelmed without saying I'm overwhelmed.
That's a good idea though.
Yeah, mine would be snickerdoodle. What's wrong, snickerdoodle?
My head always goes back to pineapple, but that was my code for when I was in labor with Cairo, remember?
Mine goes back to pineapple for a whole different reason. It's off the movie or something.
I would say you say that all the time and you still never told me why.
It's a safe word. I never use pineapple.
You're the one who told me to use pineapple for Cairo.
Yeah, I got it from a movie where they use pineapple for a safe word. Or when they're doing naughty things.
Yeah, I know.
So.
That's inappropriate.
I love you.
I love you too.